And welcome to the CodeX Cantina, where we have a very special event here. We aren't breaking down a singular book. Instead, we are talking to Klaus from Germany about German Christmas traditions today.
What up, nerds? My name is Lezlie. I'm with the Nerdy Narrative. You may not have heard of me, but I like to read books. And then I like to talk about them. A lot.
But do you like Christmas?
I love Christmas. Christmas is my favorite. It didn't used to be, but it is now. As an adult, I grew to love Christmas more.
The most wonderful time of the year.
And Crypto is the other half of the Codex Cantina, as you know. And then to my screen left is none other than Klaus.
His Grace.
My Grace, the contradictorian, yes. I don't read any books at all, and I hate Christmas, but I was invited here because I have to represent Germany.
You hate Christmas?
No, I don't. And I don't hate books, so you should have caught up on that.
Such a liar.
The sarcasm starts
Guilty.
strong.
Hey,
So-
the Christmas troll has arrived.
I love it.
Yeah.
And we love him for it. All right, Klaus. So we started this tradition last year where we started out talking about Russia and we started reading some Russian short stories. And we found that there's actually a company that makes these books called A Very, and then insert country name, Christmas. And in our second year, we're here celebrating German stories. And we've learned that countries may look at Christmas maybe a little bit differently. Here in America, we do this thing where on November 1st, we start celebrating Christmas. The entire month of November, with the exclusion of 3 days for Thanksgiving and Black Friday, we celebrate Christmas. And then all of December, we celebrate Christmas as well. Can you start with sharing with us? I've been told that might be a little bit ludicrous for some others out there. How does that land upon you when you hear these types of traditions?
That's a bit much Christmas for me, personally. So in Germany, we usually start 4 weeks before Christmas Eve. So last Sunday, Christmas time sort of started for us, but we're not really celebrating Christmas. We have, Christmas decorations everywhere, except here, apparently. But usually there's Christmas decorations in the streets and in the houses, in the gardens, that sort of stuff. And you have those Christmas circles or whatever they're called, when you have like 4 candles and for each of the 4 Sundays before Christmas, and then you light a candle each new week. At least if you don't have a house that is burning down easily. So you aren't really allowed to have those things anymore, but still you're supposed to do that.
Can I ask real quick, what is that for? I've never heard of that. I've never done that before.
The Advent, you've heard of like an Advent calendar, right, Crypto?
Yeah.
Oh, yes. Okay.
Exactly. It's like a Christian tradition. I think it's more of like a Catholic thing. Mm-hmm. And as I'm living in a Catholic region and I'm a Catholic myself, we sort of do that here. So we light each week before Christmas, we light one of these candles. There's also one of those religious songs where you have like 4 stanzas and you sing each stanza for each individual Sunday. So you first only sing the first stanza and then the next week the second stanza as well. And then it starts and it enhances until Christmas, ideally.
I love that.
Sounds very kind of Jewish too, because that's what they do when they light the menorah, the different candles, and add the stanzas. And interesting.
Yeah, so a lot of our traditions come from Jewish tradition and also from like Roman stuff. So there's a reason why we're celebrating Christmas, so that we're celebrating Christmas, and that's because of that Roman solstice thing, sun god, whatever that kind of thing. Yeah, I'm not that old. I'm not Alan. I don't know.
No, I've spent some time traveling Europe in the wintertime, mostly around Italy, and I would say about 4 weeks before Christmas is when the markets open up, where everybody's outside touring around these wooden pop-up tents that pop up in the plazas, the piazzas there. What's it like in Germany? Because obviously we've heard of the wonderful German Christmas market.
Yeah, right now that's a bit of a there's an obstacle called COVID, so they are not really happening this time of the year. We have them. Some cities have them, some others don't. And if you have them, you have to be vaccinated to get there. But usually they start when Advent starts, so 4 weeks before Christmas. It depends on every single, like bigger cities have them for a longer time, and like small towns have them for just a weekend or so. So we have them this weekend actually in my town here, and it's like really small, but usually there are people selling mild wine, spiced wine, and drinking. As always, as anything that Germans do, heavy drinking is involved. So people are there, although it's freaking cold and it's snowing, and people are standing in the cold and drinking and getting sick and having a cold, and then they don't go to work on Mondays. So the German economy is breaking down each December because of that.
Sounds very American.
Yeah,
Really?
it's very un-German to do that. No, and they last until, I think, a week before Christmas, and then these people start removing them again, so that you are really getting into the like hot phase where you have to buy last-minute presents, like me. So that is when we do these Christmas markets. But it's sort of cute. Some people really like them, and I'm like in the middle of that because I like going there, but it is freaking cold. And I mean, you could just go inside and celebrate inside, but no, you have the Christmas market outside where everybody's standing in the snow and in the cold, and it's not a good idea. Yeah, but it's fun.
A lot of the stories that I read in the collection that we're reading is they had the German markets mentioned in there, so it sounded like a tradition. It seemed like a lot of people would go and do their Christmas shopping there, and they had a lot of fun doing it. So it almost, there was one story that I read, it gave me that movie Serendipity kind of feel to it. So it sounds romantic to us. And
Yeah,
the winter sounds really good to me.
When there's snow, it's nice, but when there's no snow and it's just raining, then it's not really romantic because it's supposed to be Christmassy and there should be snow, but then there isn't because it's just cold and windy and rainy, and yeah. So it has its pros and cons, I guess. And I don't think it's a really old tradition. I think it's more of a thing like the 20th century when it's sort of very strongly linked to capitalism because you're just buying Christmas decorations and useless stuff that you would never use in your normal life there, and that is all you do, and you get drunk apparently. Yeah.
Now, do you guys put up Christmas trees in your house?
Yeah, totally. We do. We used to sell them. Like my parents used to sell them until like 2 or 3 years ago. You put them up. Ooh, when do you put them up? Usually you have one outside in your garden and you have one in the house. So you have 2 of them. And sometimes we even have like smaller Christmas trees in the kitchen or somewhere else. Usually it is in the living room, like in the center of your house. You have that big Christmas tree, which is like, I think normally they are like 2 meters high. And they are decorated with lights and all sort of stuff. It used to be candles, but again, trees sort of burn when you have candles on them. So it's electric lights nowadays, and very festive decorations. I usually put mine up like 2 or 3 days before Christmas only, because it is sort of in the way. And it sort of gets me in that final Christmas mood when you put up that tree, because then you know it's really coming to be Christmas. And as Germans aren't really celebrating Christmas until it's Christmas itself, that sort of enhances the feeling that it's really immediately Christmas danger now. So you have to put up your tree. Yeah.
Now, when you say not celebrating Christmas until Christmas, I thought I heard something about St. Nicholas Day, like December 6th or something like that. Is that not considered Christmas, or what? Because we don't do that.
That's a different thing. It's sort of closely linked to like Advent, because it is in the Christmas period. You're preparing for Christmas because you're lighting those candles on those things. But it's really celebrating the patron saint, St. Nicholas, which is my patron saint as well, because my name's Klaus and it's from Nikolaus, whatever. So it depends on the region, but usually, at least in my region, you have that St. Nicholas going around, who is totally the real St. Nicholas, going around and handing out presents to the kids from the village. So everybody's coming to our pub then, and they are sitting there and getting their presents, and everybody each year hopes that none of these children dares touch the beard of that St. Nicholas, because then, their childhood dreams will totally be ruined, because it's not real St. Nicholas, it's just somebody in costume. And that is what we're doing here it's the 6th of, so it should be like Monday, I think. Yeah, Monday should be the 6th, and then, but again, because of COVID, that can't happen right now. So St. Nicholas is just going from house to house and handing out those presents to each of the kids individually, and they're singing some songs. It's nice. and especially if there's snow. But if there's no snow and it's just raining, once again, it's not ideal.
Now, so like you guys don't do presents on like Christmas Eve or Christmas Day?
Yeah, we do. We do.
Oh, okay.
That's a different thing. St. Nicholas is like smaller gifts, like chocolate, and some. These days, it's some healthy stuff as well, because parents are monsters these days. But usually, it's just chocolate and that sort of stuff, or cookies.
Oh,
Yeah.
so it's kind of like what we would call stocking stuffers.
Yeah, in a way. Yeah, I guess that's it. Yeah.
Okay.
And we
So
don't celebrate Thanksgiving, so that is a tiny Thanksgiving for us.
Christmas in Germany sounds lovely. Absolutely lovely so far.
Yeah, you should be jealous because it's awesome.
I am a little jealous. Maybe
Good.
not of the rain and cold, but I am a little jealous.
Yeah, though this
It
year we have
sounds
snow here
so
already.
magical.
So
Yeah, you can
It
you
is.
can keep that. You can keep the snow. I don't want that
Yeah.
kind of magic.
it's a bit like in Narnia.
So, Klaus, I'm curious to see how Crypto here above did. Unfortunately, due to our distance and COVID and all, we can't share it. But he made his first attempt at some German food called Stollen. Is that something that have you traveled to the U.S. or where all have you been?
No, I'm a poor lonesome student, and I don't travel. I've just been to England for like half a year because I'm learning to be an English teacher, so I had to go there. But I've never been to the US. No.
Okay. Because I'd be curious to see how Mr. Crypto here did with his performance on his Stollen. But what are some like traditional foods, or I've heard you mention the spice wine earlier. What are some traditional foods that you guys usually celebrate this time of year?
Yeah, Crypto, you're welcome to send it over here, over the pond, and I can try it then. But yes, Stollen is one of these. Also, in general, Christmas cookies. People are baking cookies all the time over Christmas. Like all the girls, as soon as it's like Advent, they start finding their inner baker, I guess, and they suddenly all start making cookies, which is weird. Then we have Stollen. At Christmas itself, most people used to eat what's it called, goose or like geese. That's what they used to eat. So like the Thanksgiving turkey, Germans are eating goose for Christmas. But there isn't really, I mean, all sort of sweet stuff. On the Christmas markets, you can buy all sort of sweet stuff, that spiced wine, mild wine, hot chocolate, that sort of stuff. Then wine mixed with chocolate, which is the most disgusting thing I've ever tasted. But there are people who really like that. What else?
My wife loves wine with chocolate, or chocolate with wine.
I've tasted it once, and I am not really interested in that. But I'm more of a beer drinker anyway, so yeah.
You're here.
Yeah, I'm very German. Other than that, it's chocolate. Everything is like chocolate and as sweet as possible. So yeah, pretty American, really.
Yeah, it seems like a kind of a new thing. I mean, the geese seseems like an old tradition.
Because, yeah, that's an old tradition.
500-600 years ago, Germany wouldn't have had turkeys, so they ate what they had, and that's what you guys normally eat. Do you do a ham? Do you do hams? Yeah,
but we do ham always. Okay. Mostly around Christmas, because that's people used to slaughter the pigs at the end of November or at the start of November, and then the ham would be ready around Christmas. But that's just because it's more of a coincidence, because that ham was ready then, because like 6 weeks before they had slaughtered the pigs and then roasted the ham, whatever. So yeah, but it's true. We eat a lot of ham. But nowadays, you eat a lot of ham the entire year. So if you are a vegetarian, yeah.
So it's not unique to Christmas, or
no, I wouldn't say so. I wouldn't say so.
Okay.
Well, let's move into, now we mentioned earlier, Crypto has prepared for you a fun little quiz. Okay, and we're kind of curious because last year when we did this, we looked up where Treehole had the Stollen.
Really impressive, yeah.
I made this.
That looks really pretty.
And yeah.
You have made one more Stollen than I have in my life, so you're more German than me.
Yeah, with custom homemade candied worms too. At that too, he went.
Yes.
He went
Lovely.
all out in
I
it.
candied my own stuff.
All right, so last year we did this thing where we started doing some research on how different countries decorate their trees, And of course, like you said, it's changed over the years from candles to more modern things. So when we show you these, they may come from different centuries, and that's not totally fair. But we're kind of curious. If we were to show you a set of 3 trees, okay, we got a couple of them prepared. If you could pick out which one of them is decorated with German decorations, if you will. Now, the clue may be that there's some German traditional things on there, or it could be you could look at that and be like, that's absolutely not German. That totally looks Swedish or something like that. We'll have some fun with it. So Crypto, if you could bring up your screen here.
All right. So question 1. Got 3 options there. Maybe a little bit smaller. There we go.
So option 2 is in front of the Brandenburg Gate, so that is an obvious trap. I think option 3 might totally be possible because we have these gnomes everywhere in our gardens, but I've never seen them on Christmas trees before, so it might be possible, but I wouldn't think so. Option 1 is like, what's that like? Are those
Are they
red balls?
Or balls? I can't tell.
But anyway, we put that on our tree today, so I think that is traditional. So I'm gonna go with option 1 because that is what we're doing.
I guess I messed up because I thought it was option 2.
Might be possible as well, but I can't really see what's because the tree is like in the background.
Yeah, well,
that's just lights.
That's in Berlin.
Yeah, that's in Berlin. That's in front of the Brandenburg Gate. Yeah.
Yeah, I thought that was a give me. I was trying to be nice. You're like, well, I have to pick this one because it's in German.
He's like, that one's in Berlin, obviously a trap.
It has to be a trap.
No, it wasn't a trap. I was trying to be nice. My bad. All right.
Oh, I know this one.
Oh my god! Definitely option 2.
Yeah.
Now he's gonna trust
option 2.
He's gonna
Every
trust his gut.
single Christmas story in the Very German Christmas collection talked about candles on the tree, and I think they almost all decorated them on Christmas Eve.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's what we're doing. As I've said, it used to be real candles. These days, it's electric candles because stuff turns to stuff burns. Yeah.
Well, and this one is Mexico, and then option 3 is the you can see the little flags there. I think that's what is that?
Sweden.
Sweden.
Yeah.
Wait, so what were the other 2 in the first one? Did you say?
Because
this was I thought fishing.
I think
country.
option 1 was Russian, wasn't it?
Yeah, that one's Russian because that was from last year, and then option 3 is
Your Christmas tree.
No. Where is it? They put the little gnome things. Is that? I can't remember where
Switzerland or something.
It might be Norway.
A place with lots of ports. I remember that.
Yeah. All right, last one.
What is happening in option 2? Is that a tree or a cake?
The hell?
What is in their heads?
I'm gonna go with option 1 because I have seen that on trees here. Option 2 is an explosion, and option 3 is like really too much color for Germans. Germans are more neutral and don't use that many colors, I think.
I don't think you guys fold as much paper as in number 3 either.
No.
Yeah, so option 3 is Japan, and then option 1 and 2 are German.
Oh, tricky.
Yeah,
Tricky.
so this one I did trick you. I was trying to be. I tried to be easy in the beginning with question 1, and then I tried to trick you at the end. So that picture is from like the 1980s in Germany. So you probably weren't even born.
No, I wasn't. I totally wasn't. I'm a 90s kid.
I was hoping that you'd be like, oh my God, that's my grandparents.
No way.
It looks like you avoided an explosion with number 2 there. So, so Crypto here had a question about some traditions that we have, such as caroling and such.
Yes, I didn't know, you think a lot of times with Christmas, at least in regards to ours, there's a lot of traditions or standard things for my family anyway. We never went caroling, but I remember living in some densely populated areas in my childhood, and people would go around caroling. And then
I did.
for us, so caroling usually would happen a couple of days before Christmas. And then on Christmas Eve, we would get to open one present. And usually in our family, like somebody else had to pick it. So I have a younger sister, and I would pick her present and she would pick my present. And then on Christmas Day, we did a fun thing that was very, very unique to our family, where we did a scavenger hunt, and my mom would hide clues around the house, and we would do a little scavenger hunt and have to find our stocking stuffers. And then we would have breakfast, and then finally we would open our presents. So like, what is your traditional, I guess, Christmas Eve, Christmas Day? What are some maybe kind of the unique things that Germany does that the US or other people around the world might not do, or maybe unique to your family that is kind of fun? Because I love learning about other little nuances of people's families, especially somebody that is not from our traditional style.
Yeah, so we only work Christmas Eve because we are Germans. There's no sort of presents or sort of stuff involved. It's just work. No. So usually we celebrate Christmas on Christmas Eve, which is for us the 24th of December, but it's only the evening. It's really only the evening. Shops are open until lunchtime, so you can buy some last-minute presents, which I have been doing repeatedly because I'm terrible at that. But then it's sort of, you're waiting till it gets dark, and then you are getting your presents. And either you go to Mass before or you don't, depending on how religious you are. Usually Mass here is around 6. And then you go home, and then you have dinner, and then you open the presents. At least that's what we are doing in our family, but it depends on every individual family. There's nobody going around singing carols or something, but we have musicians here who go around and with their trumpets and that sort of stuff and play some Christmas carols. And then you sort of get into the living room where the Christmas tree is standing. And usually houses also have that a depiction of Christmas evening of Jesus being born. So you have baby Jesus there in miniature, and you have the animals and an angel coming there, and a replacement of that. And then you get your presents. Usually they are below the Christmas tree. In our family, we usually sing one carol before that, and then there is no patience left, so everybody opens their presents and is either happy or not. I haven't received a good Christmas gift in, I think, 10 years.
That is so sad.
Yeah, I'm a good giver, but apparently nobody can figure out what to give me. So that is why I'm so glad they have a wish list nowadays.
Mine won't use it because it's books. They're like, don't you get enough books? And I'm like, never.
Yeah.
The formula for the amount of books that I want is N+1.
I'm not good at maths, but I think that's a lot. So then you get your presents, you open the presents.
How do you guys do presents? I know it usually is unique from family to family, but like in ours, we'll usually go around like in a circle, and like one person will open and everybody watches, and then the next person opens, everybody watches. And so it'll take like maybe 2 or 3 hours depending.
Germans are very efficient people, so we don't do that.
Yeah, our family, it's free for all.
Take our presents and open all of them, and pretend to be happy about what we are given. And then, we sort of,
Okay.
So here we have midnight mass on Christmas Eve. My stepmother grew up Catholic, but she changed to Baptist later in life, but she would still always go to midnight mass. And I always thought Catholicism was such a beautiful religion, and the church, and just, so I always would go to midnight mass with her on Christmas Eve. And it just really added a little touch of magic to the evening. But we would only do one Christmas present on Christmas Eve. And we could choose any one that we wanted to, as long as it wasn't one of the big ones. And then we would do the rest the next morning. And we did not wait. We did, like, my stepmom would be like, oh, I'm going to cook breakfast. And we're like, my brothers and I are already under the tree, just like ravaging everything.
Yeah, because that seems cruel to me, to make children wait the entire
we weren't children.
Until they get the next.
We were teenagers and adults.
Oh,
She
then
was
it's cool
41.
to me to make adults
am
and teenagers
44.
wait.
But I
Oh,
also used to go caroling. That was so much fun. And then one year I lived in an apartment and a group of carolers came to our courtyard and stood in the courtyard and caroled to us. And it was I love that. So I need to find me a group here. I love to sing. I'm terrible at it, but I love to do it anyway.
And Christmas carols are the best, right? I love
Mhm.
Christmas
Yeah.
music.
everybody can sing Christmas carols, even if you have a voice like Lezlie. That should totally work.
Look, people love when I sing Christmas carols on my channel. I'll have you know. Although I've been a little too under the weather to do any singing so far this year, but it's
Yeah,
coming.
same.
It's coming.
I've had a cold for like 2 weeks now, but it's not COVID, so hey.
Yeah, that's good. Thank goodness.
Yeah.
So, Klaus, one of my favorite thing to ask Germans is about the German pickle. My name here, I can't pronounce it at all, of course. I'm sure you've got it down, but have you heard of this quote unquote tradition that we Americans call it a German tradition called the German pickle?
Yeah, we would pronounce it Weihnachtsgurke.
Bless you.
Yeah.
Can you say that again? For us dumb
Weihnachtsgurke.
Americans.
Weihnachtsgurke.
Vine with a V.
Weihnachtsgurke. Weihnacht is Christmas and Gurke is pickle. Yeah.
So have you heard about that? Like when we say there's this tradition where you take a German pickle ornament, it's like a little glass ornament. What you do is you put it on the Christmas tree, the Christmas Eve. So that way, when you wake up the next morning, the first person to find this pickle in the tree either has like a year of good luck or gets an extra present if they're the first to find it. Have you ever heard of that?
Of course. Never. I've never heard about that in my entire friggin' life.
I love it. I love it because this is like one of those biggest like misnamed things that apparently it didn't start till like the 1890s in America by a company called Woolsworth that made these little ornaments. And the theory is they just made this whole story up about it being a German tradition just so they can sell more ornaments to Americans.
Mm-hmm.
But the best part about this is now so many like Americans will travel to Germany, right? And they'll go to these German markets and say, we want a German glass pickle. And the Germans are like, what are you talking about? We don't do that. And then so now Germany will make German pickle glass ornaments just because Americans think it's a tradition there and they can make money off of it.
We're
That's
so
capitalism
smart.
for you. I'm not saying it. I mean, it could be possible that there was some regional tradition somewhere in the south or somewhere in Germany,
Sure.
but I have never heard of that before. But I have a friend who, you know, when you have pickles, you have a glass of pickles, you have that water in there. I have a friend who drinks that water, so that is all I can say about pickles.
It's delicious,
It
especially
apparently
if you're
cures when you are drunk. You're hungover. Apparently, it cures you. But I don't believe.
Runners
pickles.
will drink pickle juice after they go running because it puts salt back into your system super quick. And it's
we
good.
call it pickle juice. The water is what we call it.
Ah,
Pickle juice.
lovely.
Yeah.
Did you know that
it's disgusting.
pickles, cucumbers are actually like part of, like, they're considered berries. They're part of like the gourd family.
Yeah, I totally knew that, Lezlie. Of course. Why are you even asking?
I minored in botany. Yeah.
Yeah. I
studied biology for like 5 years. I know that.
I saw it on the internet. I was like scrolling and I saw
Must
a
be
picture of
true.
a pickle and I remembered we were talking about the German pickle and I was like, ooh, what is this? Is this about the German pickle? And it was like, no, hey, did you know this? And I'm like, that's pretty cool.
Oh, I have another one. The German pickle made me think of, have you guys ever, or Klaus, have you ever heard of Elf on a Shelf?
No, I've seen something on Instagram because there was this umbrage on the snitch thing and the elf on a shelf, and I was like, what's that supposed to mean? So no idea.
That's kind of a newer tradition where there's this little elf guy and people would set him on the shelf, and it was kind of like a game that they would play with their kids, and they would hide it around the house. And I guess it kind of distracts the kids, you know, as Christmas is approaching, because they want their presents, and, you know, children are impatient and stuff. And the elf with a shelf kind of became this game and became a cultural phenomenon. And you had to buy the exact one. And for many years there, they were very hard to find. You could only buy them at one specific store, and they started selling them like illegally on the black market, and they were going for like $100 or $200 for these tiny little elves that people would set and hide and stuff. And it kind of became like a big thing for a few years. I think it died off a little bit, but it was kind of in that venue of this mythical lore, like the German pickle.
Yeah, like every night the parent would move the elf, and then the kid would get up the next morning to find it. And the elf was keeping an eye on the kid, making sure they were good until Christmas.
Yep.
But where the hilarity came in is the creative way that parents would hide the elf, and it would be doing things around the house. So I like looking at the memes.
Yeah, sometimes like some of my favorite ones, because I don't know if you know, Una and I are huge Star Wars fans, and people would set it up.
Noticed.
Yeah, they would set up like Darth Vader and like Luke Skywalker and like Yoda, and they would take their Christmas ornaments of their Star Wars characters and put them with the elf on the shelf, or like they would put their G.I. Joe characters, or they would put like
Barbies.
He'd
be like in a hot
Rainbow
tub
Bright.
with Barbies.
Yeah, he'd be like elf on the shelf, be chilling, with a Barbie on each side of him, and it became this crazy thing. And I don't know if it's still as big anymore, because I have a couple of nephews, and it was really big when they were little, but now they're teenagers, and I don't think they do it as much. But yeah, so you guys didn't do anything like that, right?
Nope.
Well, you guys,
not at all.
Lezlie hit it on the head. We're like, he's watching you. If you touch him, it breaks his magic, and then he can't tell Santa that you've been good, and you won't get presents. Right. It's part of the stick, right? To make sure that your kids are good, as it's all part of that trick. You guys, I think, I'm not sure how prevalent this is, but we saw in some of the stories that we were reading here, references to like Nacht Ruprecht and St. Nicholas, where they talk about how they'll abduct children that are bad. And I'm like, whoa, abduct children. That sounds kind of bad, actually. Like, is that like a common
Only the
thing?
bad children. So it's fine.
Okay, so German parents will tell their kids, be good or you will be abducted by these Santa's helpers, basically.
Maybe they used to, but they're not doing these. So we have two figures. We have Knecht Ruprecht, who is that St. Nicholas guy, who is that always wearing just black stuff and wearing a hood so that you can't know who it is. And he has that stick, and he goes around there beating the kids who have been bad, like not really beating them. I mean, not these days, but I think he might have done that a couple of years ago. He might have actually have beat them. So he's going around there, and really, I've never seen any child not get. I mean, I have seen children not get sweets on St. Nicholas Day because they were that bad that year, and then that was their terrible punishment. So he didn't really beat them. But you have, especially in the south of Germany, you have that Krampus character who is really. Who they are really saying he will abduct you. If you are not good, then he will totally abduct you. And there is that. So Carnival is a big thing in Germany, and it is sort of linked to that because there's that Krampus character, and people are wearing that sort of a mask and a hood. They are looking like that person on Edvard Munch's The Scream, like that painting. That's what they're looking like, and they are just. Yeah. Terrifying the children because if you are bad, they will abduct you. But it's a German TV series that uses that. But
that's so cool.
Nobody is abducted here these days for Christmassy purposes.
Yeah, I think they even made like a horror movie called Krampus, where they have like this mass murderer that would like hide in the walls or something. I don't remember, but he'd come out and abduct these like sorority girl college students and such. I don't know. It's pretty creepy.
I guess they've been bad. So they totally deserved it.
But it's sometimes bad good.
The legends are true. Well, I think we're kind of at our time for how much, Klaus is dedicated to us. We appreciate it. Any last questions that you guys have for our guest here?
What is your best Christmas memory story as a child, young man? Leave us on a positive note here. Yeah, I know you said it's been 10 years, but...
Yeah, so I have to think. Because I am just 11, so I have to think, yeah.
You were a good boy, and you got that gift. Give us that Christmas magic.
Or, what do you want most for Christmas this year?
Oh.
$1 million. Or euros, not $1 million. Dollars are useless here, so.
Yeah. No wonder you don't ever get what you want for Christmas.
High bar there, goodness.
Yeah. I think the best gift I ever received was I have to think. I think when I was like 5, then my football team, or my soccer team, as you guys would say, they won the Champions League. So Borussia Dortmund, they won the Champions League, and I was given one of their jerseys for Christmas. That was pretty cool. I still have that, I think, but it doesn't fit me anymore for some reason.
That's cute.
I think that
So
is
many
everything I can
Christmas
say
treats.
about good Christmas presents. My life is sad.
Well, I remember I just went through my, a big growth spurt for me when I turned 11 too. So we're hanging in there for you and all.
Yeah, it's not easy. It's not easy.
Excellent. Well, thank you for spending some time and sharing, a little bit more about your culture and your family's traditions. We appreciate you having you here today. We are going to leave a link to Klaus's channel down below, where if you are not already subscribed to him, you can go join and listen to his cunning wit and amazing remarks as he talks about books that he, of course, does not like.
Thank you so much, Klaus. Appreciate your time and all your information.
Thanks for having me.
All right. Bye,
And-
guys. Oh,
Merry Christmas!
Merry Christmas, everybody.